we have now, our last recipe is a mulled apple ginger cider. So as I alluded to a little bit in our second recipe, we talked about maintaining your fluid intake can help to reduce fatigue, can also help with brain cognition, your alertness. And so the hydration reduces fatigue by making sure that our body is working normally, or instead of saying normally, better, working at best as it can. And by preventing the dehydration, then you don't have that tired or sluggish feeling. So that's one of the factors about hydration and fatigue. And so this masterpiece of a mocktail combines the familiar flavors of the holiday and is an easy way to stay hydrated. So it's also a great option for alcoholic drinks, right? Because during the holidays, there's always a lot of alcohol around. And this is one way of still enjoying the season, but not having to worry about, I want to say no to that alcoholic drink. And if you're going to someone's home, it might be something I say, hey, I'm going to bring this drink along and for yourself and for others to try. And unlike the alcoholic drink, you can count every ounce of it towards your fluid intake for the day. And you don't get that hangover the next day. Not that I know anything.
All right, so we want to bring all the spices. All the spices in your pantry, take them out, brush them off. We're going to be using this in our mulled cider, so we want to infuse it with all of these incredible sort of flavors, these baking spices, and a little bit goes a long way, but this is where you can sort of steep it to your preference, okay? First thing we're going to do is get our apples. I've peeled them. You can just leave them as is. Just wash them really well. Take out the core, the middle, and bring a large pot, whatever you need in terms of amounts, to a boil, water to a boil, just water. Add our apple chunks, pieces in there, and we'll cover the lid and just let them sort of simmer just until they're nice and soft, okay? So pretty much until they're starting to fall apart. And then we'll take it out with a slotted spoon. So this is easier. I find it easier to do this first and then add your spices in. Because then you're mucking around with all of those. Yes?
Is there a specific kind of apple?
Oh, good question. Use your favorites. I find that this works with all different types of apples. The sweeter apples, so things like Honeycrisp, they tend to add a little bit more of their own sweetness. So then at the end, I find that if I want to add a little more sweetness, like honey or something, I don't need as much because I get a lot of flavor from the apple. But this works with anything. It's not like I'm not baking a pie or anything. So any apple you like.
How about with the garlic? Could we use applesauce?
Yes, you can use applesauce. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Yes, if people didn't hear that at home, great option is applesauce.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Love that.
Great idea. I have some applesauce at home as well as the cabbage sitting in the fridge.
Yeah.
So I'm almost
Separate.
there with the ingredients.
Yeah, for sure. So we're putting in our apples with a little bit of the water. I don't need too much, and I'll see if it's too thick, then I can add a little more. But a little bit of the water that I've cooked it in, and we'll blend this up. Or it can be just applesauce. Absolutely. Blend it up. We're making applesauce. That's what we're doing.
I love doing classes here, but I really miss the real life that I had at home.
Yeah, no mute button here. So just until it's nice and thin, and we have this like really, really nice sort of thick apple puree applesauce. That's essentially what it is, right? And with this, we're going to go back into the pot that I've had cooked the apples in initially. because I don't want it super thick. This is going to help to thicken up that cider, so it's not just like thin, like super thin like water. So it has a little bit more of that mouthfeel to it, which would be really nice. And so back into the pot. It's the holidays. We have all the pots and pans out here today.
Delegation is always good too. So what you can do, if there is another person in the house or a couple people, I hate the cleanup, so that might be something that I would delegate to someone else to do. That also helps with fatigue.
So,
Yeah, try. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. All right, so all that apple puree back into that pot. So we're gonna get all the apple flavor in there.
Can you
now
smell?
It's broken down.
Yeah, that you can smell.
And then in there is where we'll add, at this point is when we're gonna add our aromatics, okay? So cinnamon sticks, ginger, clove, we've got some star anise here. I know you wanna do it.
I do. I was very fascinated. Is this
Orange peels
Orange
or
peel,
tangerine
okay, I was like-
peel on the outside. That you'll get those essential oils from it. Speaking of, so that can steep pretty much in this pot until it's tasty enough to your liking, and then we can remove them afterwards, or you can keep them in if you want it a little bit more flavorful. And then right before you're ready to serve, we can add a little bit of orange. That clementine, tangerine, just that juice.
What about adding that in the crock pot? Can you just stick that in there and let it just simmer for a day or two?
Which one, sorry?
A crock pot.
crock pot?
Oh yeah, of course, absolutely. Crock pot would be great just to let it simmer. Now, keep in mind that the longer it sits in there, you're going to be really infusing those spices. So if like I like star anise, but it has that licoricey sort of flavor, it could be a little too much. If it's in a crock pot for like a long time. But you can always just remove those spices when you're ready and then just continue to let it simmer in the crock pot. All right. That little bit of that tangerine or that clementine in there.
And it depends to you how you're doing with the aromas in your home. Like if there's if you're triggered, if the nausea is triggered by aromas. There's also a little bit of a difference between scented candles. Like sometimes I don't know if a lot of people are using scented candles still. No, right? But instead of scented candles, this is a more natural option. It's also something that you can enjoy yourself afterwards too.
All right. So when you're ready to go, we can serve this up. Now, we made a big pot, so we have hundreds of people here today. Lots of apple cider to serve up.
So many.
But this is something also we can do in advance. Okay, so if I'm going to a holiday party, this is what I'm bringing. You can make it in advance. Let it cool down, and I do this with my soups, which I love. Is get yourself. These muffin tins are fantastic. I love these for freezing things. These silicone muffin tins. You can ladle that cider into your muffin tins, freeze it until solid, and because it's flexible, I could just pop the bottom, and I have my little cider pucks ready to go. Right? So then I can put these in a freezer bag, and this can last me the whole winter if I wanted. Right? You have the cider puck, and if I just wanted one, put it in a mug, put it in the microwave, or I can put 8 of them in a pot and warm it up, and it's ready to go for my party.
Yeah. No, what I was going to say, just that sometimes we hear a lot of people saying they're tired of drinking water. So what a great idea to just have to pop one of these things out and warm it up.
Yeah. We'll serve a couple up here. Festive mugs from Daniela. Now, if you're serving, what you could do is strain it all out, the whole thing out, because of all the spices and the cloves and everything. We'll serve one up and adjust to your flavor, sweetness, right? If you want to add a little bit of honey, then you can add a little bit of honey to that as
smells
well.
great.
this will be quite spiced because it's been simmering for a few hours. A lot of ginger.
I can smell the ginger.
Too spiced, maybe. And there we go. And that's our last recipe. Cheers! Cheers to you as well. And thank you for joining us.
Very good. Very good.
If you have any notes to finish off, I'm going to answer the questions here quickly.
No, I don't have any notes to finish off, but I hope that this gave you some ideas for the holidays, things you can do in advance, whether you're the host or not. So like if you're going to someone's home, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, like if you're going to someone's home and you're not feeling so well, it's a good idea to just talk to the host ahead of time, just so they don't like center you out at the meal, like why aren't you eating? Talk to the host in advance, say, I want to come, just don't feel 100%. I'm going to come at the beginning, I'm going to come at the end, I might bring my own food item with me, and that's all they need. And they'll be happy that you let them know that. And that'll also make you feel a bit more comfortable too. Yeah.
Fantastic. And then just to address, thanks everyone watching at home, so you can join us today. Question regarding the first recipe. You can use other nuts. You don't have to use hazelnuts. You can do that with cashews. Cashews actually soften a little bit quicker, so that would work really well. You can use almonds as well. And then the water amount is about a cup of water or broth with your half a cup of the nuts. Okay. All these recipes here today, for those watching at home, will be on our website tomorrow. Okay. If you're here, you have the recipes you can take home with you. And we're always here. We're always here.
He's
but
always here.
third
We
Thursday
don't let him out.
of every month, you can always check out our Community Connections class in our kitchen. You can definitely come by, drop in. We're going to serve up some of this food today for everyone that's here. But you don't have to register. You can bring anyone you want, 12 to 1. Every third Thursday, and we're back in 2025
January
on
16th.
January 16th. So hope to see you then. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone, and we'll see you on the other side.
Stay safe.